as far as any decision concerned, but we do know that the other 11 Junkanoo groups, they have decided that they're going to sit out as well. And their argument is that
there's no Junkanoo.
As far as we know,
they're not going to have any Junkanoo.
No.
Okay.
I mean, what I know so far, we don't know what discussions or negotiations are going on right at this time, but as it stands right now, the Junkanoo groups have decided they're going to join the JCNP, and they're going to sit out, because if the government wants the two Valley Boys factions to be a part of the A category, as long as the government supports that, they're not going to rush.
But we might as well forget Junkanoo. They might as well return.
Well, we missed it once during COVID, right? Did we?
Shucks, I didn't miss it.
Well, a lot of people did miss it.
Yeah.
It's something we look forward to every year.
If the JCNP is playing politics, then we might as well abandon the whole thing. All right?
Well,
anyway, put the camera on me so I can give the spiritual advisor a good surprise. Fix the chair. Fix the chair, my spiritual advisor. Fix the chair. You see, folks, the spiritual advisor is under the direction of my party, the FNM. No matter what you think about me, yes, I have voted PLP, but I hold my own position. I hold my own position. All right? So, since the spiritual advisor is talking to FNM, I decided I might as well send for the Minister of National Security. Monroe, this you? How are you?
Well, today you said for the leader of government business in the house.
This is powerful, this is powerful. Are you fine?
I'm good.
And all these lies they're spreading, tell me it's a lie.
Well, Brother Monka, Proverbs 21:23. You
talking about a lying tongue?
No, it talks about if you hold your mouth and your tongue, you save your soul troubles.
Yeah, that's deep.
This is powerful.
So that's what I went into public life in. That's what I stand on, and I've already denied any suggestion of impropriety.
So there's no need for me to weep again.
Man, one woman said you start crying, she start crying. How much woman you had crying in this country, man?
I had the whole country.
I never hear a man holler so much in all my life. I was trying to figure what was going on.
I remember once during the pandemic you holler for like that.
I always holler. Yeah. This is powerful. So, Minister, today in the House of Assembly, 6 members of the opposition were suspended. Would you kindly explain to me what happened?
Well, I'm going to try to get for you the ruling of the Speaker.
Okay.
Because she sets out the whole history.
Okay.
And you know, this goes back to, actually, I wasn't in the House that day.
Okay.
Because I was in St. Kitts at the CARICOM Security Ministers meeting. And he tried to, speak on a matter of immediate public importance.
Now, he is who?
I'm the member for Marco City.
That would be Michael Pintar.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it was determined at that time that he hadn't gotten the procedure correctly.
Okay.
Because you see, the House is governed by the rules of these.
Yes.
And you would see in this book, Brother Monka, these rules were made in
Show it to my spiritual advisor.
2005.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the rules as they were in 2005. Nobody has changed them after this.
Okay.
So these were the rules under which Glennis Hannah Martin was put out of the House, I think, 2 or 3 times in the last administration. And these are the rules that stand.
So they were applicable to Angliston Member of Parliament, Glennis Hannah Martin.
To the 4 who were there from 2017 to 2021.
And the same rules were applied to the opposition.
Yes, only if you remember, when you see them being put out, they get their bags and walk out. That's what the PLP opposition did.
Okay.
The FNM opposition required themselves to be carried out kicking and fighting.
Okay.
But all of it is according to the rules. You don't get any special power and privilege. The speaker sets out how his request didn't make
Okay.
and didn't meet the rule. So the simplest part of it is forget whether the statement is immediate, all of that. It says, for instance, it has to deal with a matter that arose immediately before the House.
Yes.
And you have to, and this is the thing you might find interesting. When you stand to try and get a debate, 10 people have to stand.
Really?
Yeah.
Please explain that.
Well, the rule says the member, once you presented an hour and a half, it says the proposed date shall be allowed if as many members as constitute a quorum of the House, including the proposer, rise in their places in support.
Why did 10 FNMs not stand?
No, they don't have 10 members.
We don't have 10 members?
No.
How many members do we have?
You'll have 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And in the second matter of controversy, you all had 6 because Dr. Minnis was late getting to the House.
Well, he's always late.
No. He's not always late.
Okay. This is powerful.
Maybe Providence kept him away.
Yes. Well, yeah.
So these are the rules, and the rules require you to obey. The speaker is like when you go to court and the judge rules, you get to say, Your Honor, I ain't taking that.
No, you don't.
If the judge tells you sit down, you get to say, I ain't gonna sit down.
Or you're in contempt.
And the judge tells you leave his court, you get to say, I ain't going.
No, you don't.
Okay, so the speaker is the person in charge, like the judge is in a court.
Would you kindly persuade my spiritual advisor? Because I do listen to him for spiritual advice.
Well, you know, I've been hearing, trying to silence the opposition.
In a subtle way.
You know what I want the spiritual advisor to explain to us?
Yes.
This was a matter of urgency and importance. That was December 3rd, last week.
Yes.
So no, the week before that, November.
November 28th, I think that was.
It was very important what he had to say. Did he come out of the House and say it to any of the news media?
My spiritual advisor.
And who's the he?
Marco City.
Okay.
He had something
Michael Pinta.
Yeah, the leader of the opposition.
He had something to read. Did he read it? The 28th?
Was he allowed to?
No. Outside the House. The House ain't the only place you could talk.
No, he did. He didn't.
And then on the 4th of December, he still had this important thing to say.
So what do you say? I mean,
what's
the appropriate place to do that, though?
Bear with me, spiritual advisor. Did he read it then?
Oh, Jesus
Today,
Lord.
after he walked across to his office.
He still ain't do it, eh?
And he had, so what does that tell you?
Yeah,
It doesn't say anything.
If it is urgent and important, why wouldn't he tell the Bahamian people? Is it that what is in it he doesn't have faith in?
No, I think the appropriate place is to do it in the people's house.
Now, you know, the only thing that you reserve only to speak in the House of Assembly about? Things that you have no faith in. Things that you know if you say it outside of the House, there would be severe consequences.
Wow.
That's the only thing you have to say in the people's house. So you tell me, Brother Monka, you have something very important to communicate to the Bahamian people from November 28th.
Wow.
It's now the 13th, the 11th, eh?
It's the 11th of December.
13 days later, you've been,
So
you've been before the cameras that broadcast what you say to the entire Bahamas. And you have not said this outside of the House where you could be sued if it's foolishness.
So he's not protected by privilege outside the
Yes.
house.
So the only people who only speak things in the
That's
House.
an assumption, though.
No, that's cowards, man. If what
That's
you
an assumption. We don't know what he has to say. We assume, man.
Spiritual. If I have something important to tell the Bahamian people, I ain't gonna wait for the House to be in session to say it. I can say it.
Or if the host is in session and I'm prevented, then I will
We'll say it outside the house.
Yes.
What you think, my spiritual advisor? Because I need godly guidance from you.
Yeah, well,
Either is it important or he's being a coward.
well, okay, well.
Which one is it?
I'll leave it to y'all.
Well, I would prefer to say that it is important, but he's being a coward.
No. Why you want to talk to my cousin like that? I prefer to say it's not very
You're
important.
our family.
What?
I was looking at a document last night where I discovered that Michael's father is 100 years old. Perhaps I'll be like Michael and be a coward for the day.
I'm not saying it.
I could say it. It's documented. If his pa was, I wish my pa was 100 years old. Yeah.
Anyway, Brother Monica, why do you want to call him a coward? You want to call him a coward because the leader of the government is brave?
Wow. That match. If one is brave, the other one must be coward.
So spiritual, I mean,
Man,
you
all picked the wrong place to roast him, you know.
No.
I mean, it's amazing, hey.
No.
I'm trying to figure out if you all are cowards.
Spiritual. I'm saying what I'm saying on television. If I'm wrong, you can sue me.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I'm going to wait till the House resumes to say this.
And you know you can't call me a coward because I had him in the forest.
See, the only people who have to say things in the House is things you dare not say outside of Parliament.
That is true.
Because there's no protection.
Because you're cowardly and you're not a man of conviction and you don't have honor and belief in what you have to say. He should be basically condemned if he has something important to tell the Bahamian people that he hasn't told us for 13 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been suspended for 2 sessions, right?
2 sittings.
2 sittings. Which 2 sittings? Today count as one?
Today was the first sitting.
Okay, now you see? You see?
Well, you corrected me. I'm prepared to concede. So
Because once we started, they didn't get to participate in the balance of the sitting. So this is one sitting.
And then the next sitting.
And the next sitting is going to be the sitting where we go back.
But isn't there church service that you're going to go to?
Yeah.
So basically they won't miss anything then, basically.
And so why he can't answer?
When's this?
Why is he carrying
When is the
on,
church
sir?
service?
When we go back
When we
on
go
the
back.
15th.
On the 15th?
Yeah, so they can't attend the church service then.
No.
No.
They can't come to the house. The church service is not in the house of
I was
assembly.
wondering if you are sacrilegious.
No.
Actually, we don't control the church service.
Okay,
Parliament,
okay.
The
Okay.
Christian Council actually
Okay.
is in charge of the church service.
Right.
They invite us to the church of their choosing.
Okay.
They choose the pastor of their choosing.
That's the Christian Council?
Yes, to minister
Okay.
to us.
Okay. And so the opposition would be invited to church service as well?
So, what was all the fake crying about today? If those are the 2 sessions they missed.
Well, the public didn't know this.
But you mean
but I knew it.
you mean they
They
hoodwinked?
told me.
You
But
mean they hoodwinked the public?
no,
listen.
man. Information has become available, as time progresses.
No, spiritual.
But I knew.
They knew this because I called the leader of opposition business in the House last evening,
Who's the leader of opposition business?
the member for St. Anne's. I told him what was intended. I pointed out to him that
Agent White?
Yes, that the 2 sittings that they would miss would be today, but we're not debating anything today. And when we come back in the new year and we're just going to church in the new year, he asked me if we were going to get God to keep them out of church, and I told him no, because that happens after the House rises.
Yeah.
So this was just a big show for the Bahamian public today when they knew full well they would not miss any substantive business in the House.
So did the House have a party today?
The luncheon, the ordinary luncheon, and they boycott that.
So you all didn't allow them to have something to eat?
No, they chose not to come. Their places were there. The only thing that
Wow.
they
So
were
y'all ate all
suspended
that food.
from
Y'all took that food away from those
was
men.
Come, my
the
spiritual
city.
advisor. Go to the high ground.
You all took that food
Go
away.
to the high ground.
That chair was there. That chair was there. In fact, when we got started and it was clear that they were not coming, their places, the leader of the opposition place at the table with the Prime Minister was then filled.
But here,
And Mr. White was supposed to sit at the same table with me. He didn't come to take up his chair.
so you would still want to eat with them?
Of course.
These are Christians.
Of course.
They're Christian gentlemen. You can suspend them without animosity.
There's nothing really personal about it, you know.
Well, I understand that.
There are rules. And you know, the rules says certain things. The speaker says the thing about damage to the mace and all of that. She referred to the Committee on Privilege in the House, which is chaired by the member for Angliston. So all of it was wrapped up and dealt with, and now we get on with business.
Okay.
So there was damage to the mace?
So I'm being told.
So we don't know.
No.
You hear that, right? This is what he was being told.
Yes!
So he can't verify it.
No, I didn't examine it.
As
Right.
Minister of...
Rodney, just stop it, man.
Bradley, listen
Just
to me for a
stop it.
second.
We
Listen
don't
to me
know
for a
what the
second.
damage is. The government has not
Listen to
said
me.
if there were damages.
Listen to me for a second. You are in contact with the F&M. Just ask Shandor if he damages.
But I see. Remember,
Right?
remember now, it went out.
$270,000.
What's the value?
The minister doesn't know the value. I'm telling you what the value is. I'm older than him. $270,000.
More than $250,000? What is that made out of?
Precious metal.
Silver.
And
I don't know.
somebody is going to have to fix that mace.
If
Now,
it
the
is
first
damaged.
mace, Minister, I heard, is hidden
Over the hill.
in the Honorable Arthur Hanna's
No,
yard.
I ain't gonna let you put that on AD.
My brother, I'm prepared to swear in a man who has alleged that Cecil give it to the Honorable
let's go
Arthur
dig
Hanna.
then.
No, well, I'm prepared to do intellectual battle with you over that. This is something we will not agree on. I am told
Yes.
that it was caught by a taxi driver who break off running with it and never bought it back.
Really?
Wow.
That's my information.
Don't forget, the mace broke up in parts.
Yeah, what I'm telling
There
you.
is a photograph that will show you the various pieces of the mace. And I have reason to believe that Cecil Wallace Whitfield passed the majority of the mace to the Honorable Arthur Hanna. And they say he buried.
I rebuke that, Brother Manka.
Well, I would like to go and excavate.
You just want an excuse to dig up someone's yard.
I'd like to excavate because I think it's.
You just want an excuse to dig up someone's yard.
I think it would be great. It would be great. So, is there a law that makes it an offense to destroy public property, and in this case, the mace? Can I, as a member of
There
parliament,
is a law.
grab the mace when I feel and just broke it up?
No. See, the difference between what happened on the
27th
the
of
4th.
April, 1965.
the 4th, and what happened with Sir Lyndon
Okay.
is Sir Lyndon Dawes didn't break any laws,
Okay.
even to the point of when they were being put out. They didn't resist at all.
Okay.
Now, they make him carry him, and the story goes that 2 or 3 policemen was carrying Butler, and 1 man was carrying Hannah, and,
Well-
Hannah demanded 2 men.
Yeah. Show Arthur Hanna,
He-
please, so the minister would see my father making sure that they. I want Glennis to know how well we took care of her dad.
No, but they didn't struggle. You see,
Yeah.
they're not carrying him.
No, they've been very gentle.
No, they're not carrying him because he's walking.
Okay.
But they
Hey,
do
look,
have him. They have him by the arm, though.
They just listen. He said, "Lift me up."
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see how they had to carry out the 6?
Yeah. And
That was too much force, though. That was excessive force.
the
man.
police said that Adrian White was particularly heavy.
Oh, shit.
He was the butler of the day. Yeah, that's something.
And he wasn't resistant.
Yeah, but
See,
he
this
was,
guy,
he
this
was-
guy's being dragged out.
he was heavy.
And one fellow's suit, they tore up the guy's suit.
No. You look in the house. That's when they had already broken them apart and had them separated. What did they do before that?
Folks, I have with us, as a surprise to my spiritual advisor, Wayne Monroe, the Minister of National Security and the government leader of government business in the House of Assembly. We'll be right back as we discuss Parliament talk on breaking the law. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and of course we are happy to have Minister Wayne Monroe with us. And of course it's a surprise to my spiritual advisor after I glanced to the north and recognized he was receiving a lot, allegedly, of F&M texts. So this is going to be very interesting indeed as we discuss some of the issues as it relates to the members of Parliament destroying the mace. And it is interesting to note that in all this talk about the destruction of the mace, of all the crimes that are taking place, no one has yet suggested whether or not there will be a criminal investigation into the deputy leader damaging the mace. We know that Adrian White, St. Anne's Member of Parliament, has distanced himself. He has categorically denied that at any time, even though he went to the window, that he participated in this skullduggery with Cartwright. I don't know if I'm going to ask the minister, what is the politics behind the law not being complied with, in view of the fact that there's a lot of murders taking place in the country, a lot of rape taking place in the country, a lot of destruction of private and public properties. Is it that members of parliament have impunity if they destroy state property? Should I put that question to the minister now, or should I do birthday
let's
first?
do some birthdays first.
Let's do
Give him
birthday
time to
first.
elaborate on it.
Go ahead, my
All right, so we
supervisor.
have a couple birthdays to do today. Araminta Collins is number one. We want to wish Araminta Collins, who is celebrating the birthday. It's coming from her daughter, Antonique Collins, son Dominique Collins, parents Sylvia Deal and Anthony McKenzie, her sister and brothers, family and friends. They love you. Happy birthday to Araminta Collins. Mabel Colley Cox.
Well, I'll do this one.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday, Mabel Colley Cox, and birthday greetings come to you from your son. I'm going to identify him because he's my friend. That's John Colley, his wife, their children, all of your children, all of your grandchildren, and we want you to know that we are so happy that God has blessed you. Happy birthday, my sister.
All right, and Fabian Stewart. Happy birthday greetings goes out to Fabian Stewart. It's coming from his wife, Ina, his children, family, friends, and the mighty Saxons. So happy birthday to Fabian Stewart. Aaliyah Johnson is one of the young women there. Happy birthday to Aaliyah Johnson. It's coming from your mom and your dad, your grandmothers, your aunts, uncles, and cousins and friends. So happy birthday, Aaliyah Johnson. Dominic Butterfield is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday to Dominic Butterfield, coming from all your family and friends. All the best to you, and may you live to enjoy many, many more. Arlie Clinton is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday to Mrs. Arlie Clinton. It's coming from your husband, David Clinton, your one son, 301 Clinton. Okay, please. Two daughters, Nikki and Andrea Clinton, and all those who love you. God bless you. Happy birthday, Arlie Clinton. Shy Johnson is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday, happy 5th birthday to Shy Johnson. It's coming from his parents, his grandparents, uncles, and godparents, especially Goddy Kim. Enjoy your day, Shy. All the best to you. Happy birthday. That looks like it. Oh, sorry. Did we do this one? Let me see. Let me see if I can get it. I'm so sorry. I think I'm sorry, folks. Forgive me. Let's see. So happy birthday goes out to Kristen Alyssa Clark. It's one from your mother, Christine, your dad, Clarky, your brother, Romeo, your Grammy, Sandra, your aunt, Tamika, your cousin, Shay, and all your aunties, the Rose sisters. We love you. Have a great day. Happy birthday to Alyssa Clark.
This
And
is powerful.
I think that's it, yeah.
So we join the spiritual advisor in wishing each and every one of you a happy, happy birthday. It's powerful. Well,
Indeed.
Minister Monroe, I note that the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, has held a press conference, allegedly. Do we have video on his press conference?
We can't show it because it's labeled, this has a strange label in it. So
Okay.
we can't show it.
But in his press conference, he has suggested that at all material times, the United States government has informed him when they had planned to do an indictment. I hope I understand him correctly. He's also alleged that while the Americans were conducting their criminal investigation into drug smuggling and other crimes in the Bahamas, the Americans informed him. What is your observation in view of the fact that on the 13th of May, 2021, the Americans appear to have commenced an investigation into the many forms of drug smuggling in which we, the FNM, we were in charge. Minister was our leader and Prime Minister. Marvin Dames held the position that you are now holding, Minister of National Security. What is your observation? How is it that the Americans have told Minister everything? Hope I'm not.
Well, what I heard, the clip I heard, he spoke about being told that somebody was about to be indicted. I don't recall from 2017 to 2021 any Bahamian indicted in the U.S. on anything really serious or massive. I could be overlooking something. For him to have been notified of that, because that's what he said in terms. What I do know is that the indictment that you speak of says that these events were taking place at least from May 2021, and it's clear that they didn't communicate with any one of the Bahamian administrations. And what I also found surprising, when I came to office, came in the chair, there was a large cocaine interdiction in November, and there have been 2 since, but I don't recall any large cocaine interdiction during the Minister administration, which would give me cause for pause if I were Minister of National Security at that point and I'm being told that cocaine is being trafficked through the Bahamas and we are not making one interdiction. I would certainly question the officials as to, what are y'all doing? Either the people are lying about the things being trafficked through our country, or else you'll need to do something to try and interdict some of it. Since the government has changed, we've had 3 major interdiction, 1 in Cricket Island, and I think 2 in Auckland.
Or it could mean that they were being assisted during that period.
Which period, when there were none?
Between the May 2021 and now. The reason why the government did not bust any drugs is because those people were being assisted by the people who are now being indicted. So the drugs won't be busted if they're being helped.
Yeah,
they were being helped to get through.
The period when there were none was May 2017 to September 2021. After September 2021, there have been 3 major cocaine interdiction at airports in the southern Bahamas, 2 in Auckland and 1 in Cricket Island.
So who's drugged?
So on your theory that when it gets through that means you're being assisted, that's my point. If you say drugs are flowing and you can't catch none, either they're not flowing or you're being very inept.
And we all know, based on the streets, that, okay, you bust 3 shipments, right? Yeah, but how many other shipments go through?
No.
Well, let's take the spiritual advisor. Let's take it. It would mean then that under us, the FNM, the cocaine was just flowing into the United States, and we did nothing to intercept.
I don't understand how anyhow.
You never have 100% interdiction.
Oh, I know
success.
that. Yeah, we all know that.
But if you have none, and as I say, I don't recall any. I might be just incorrect in recollection. When this came to me, I did an online search and I couldn't find any. But that is what that is. Now, bear in mind, the point that is made is that you have individuals that can be corrupt. So the DEA have convicted 15 of their agents since 2015.
Their own agents?
Their own agents for being involved in drug trafficking. So you just have to be measured in how you approach information. And there's a video circulating about how policemen all over the U.S.
we see that. We see that.
So it's just a matter, I'm not saying you freak out on the FNM. Previous administration say, wow, y'all didn't bust any, so that means that
they were corrupt.
Everyone was corrupt. The fact of the matter is, as the Prime Minister said, as many people have said, individuals do things that are wrong and they have to be called to account for it.
What are your views, my spiritual advisor?
Well, I mean, if the minister is saying he knows of 3 drug busts under the PLP, what does that do for the indictment, though?
No,
Because I mean, we have some people who are being indicted and being questioned in the Southern District of New York for smuggling tons of cocaine in the United States
Which
under the PLP
began
watch.
under the F&M.
But the majority of the period was under the PLP. So what does that say, though?
Why do you say that?
No, because you remember now, it says as of the latest as of May 2021.
No, they say at least by then.
At least, right. So the PLP came into power, I think, around September, if I'm not mistaken, of 2021.
So what is the start
September.
date? What is the start date?
Here's what I'm saying. The majority of the investigation was done under the PLP
Why do you say that?
because the PLP took power in September 2021. We're now in December 2024.
Have you seen the statements that would be used on extradition requests?
No.
So that will tell you when the start date is.
But the United States has made it clear in the indictment.
No, they haven't.
They didn't give a particular date.
No. They say at least by May.
All right, so it could have happened before then.
That's what at least by means.
All right. Minister, please forgive me, but it does seem as if you're trying to downplay this to me.
How? How?
You're using technicalities
No. Spiritual.
It seems as if you're using technicalities to lessen the blow, or to make it seem as if it's trivial.
How so?
And I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm getting.
In Andros and Acklands, with a police inspector, either inspector or ASP, was charged before our courts with drug trafficking in relation to the matter.
And
The 2 South Americans were sentenced to jail for trafficking those cocaines. The decision in the policeman's case charged in our courts is still outstanding.
Is that not a strong suggestion that the PLP government is serious?
There, in the recent drug bust in Acklands, they arrested, 8 people?
Yes.
In Long Island who will go before the courts. How is that
It's
downplaying?
7. 5 Bahamians and 2 Colombians, so it's 7 altogether. Yeah.
How is that downplaying the drug trafficking
Anyhow,
serious?
I'm just hoping I'm not misunderstanding what is going on here, right? But the indictment alleges that tons of cocaine may have flowed through the Bahamas into the United States.
Yes.
All right. So you bust a couple of shipments. It's just like a needle in a haystack, basically, according to the United States indictment, because tons of cocaine is a very serious suggestion.
How much tons did they bust?
The previous administration.
I couldn't say.
Well,
The minister say he don't know.
I want to go to America. How much did they bust coming from the Bahamas?
They didn't give a specific amount. You just say tons. I don't know if it's 1 ton, 2 ton, 3 ton.
No, the question is how much did they interdict?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So what you trying to say?
I am telling you what I've told you privately. There are serious political games being played.
And the Americans are playing the game.
Of course the Americans are playing the game.
I'm
not putting you,
Minister.
I'm not speaking for you.
You're speaking for yourself.
I'm speaking for myself. I'm 68. And there are some things I lived through.
Some of the things you say, though, Santa.
What have I said? What has happened? The Prime Minister says that there has been an attempt to identify who the politician is, and the Americans has withheld that. Now, that could only be, their reason could only be political.
What's the objective,
I
though?
don't agree.
The minister doesn't agree. I'm not trying to get his agreement. It could
So
only
what's the
be
objective?
political.
What's the objective?
That's the point. What is it that the United States government want?
Or what are they trying to do?
In 1983, evidence emerged in the PLP that when NBC accused the pending administration of participating in the drug trafficking, one of the key things that emerged was there was a major dispute between Pinling, Paul Adley, and the United States government over the negotiation at Ordick Base, because the Bahamas having become independent, The PLP position is the British could no longer negotiate for us. So that there emerged a very big maneuver. PLPs today aren't aware of the allegation I'm raising because, unlike me, they didn't continue to study the Commission of Inquiry report and to talk to senior Bahamians. They're not. You know how many Bahamians have not read the Commission of Inquiry? None of them. So they would know what I'm talking about. I am saying that a serious game is being played. The Americans obviously want something. They recognize that one of the way you could stimulate, that's not a good word I want to use, stimulate, create a stimuli, help me with this big word. They realize, and it's happening, you indict, you hold the politician name, and you have big political dispute going on. As soon as Shenandoah read the indictment, he went politically mad, and he started throwing mace outside the window. So it's a form of destabilization. I'm not looking for anybody to vote for me, so I can express myself. I have my own views. And don't forget, when thousands of you were opposed to Donald Trump, y'all were playing woman, y'all were playing lesbian, y'all were playing feminine. It's woman time. I said, no, it's not woman time. We're not going to have no woman running America and running the free world. We're going to have a man. He can be a macho man and a man who love all the women there. And the Americans have had no president as sexy as Donald Trump. So it's Trump, and fight.
How you reach that?
Huh?
How did you reach there?
Well, who they had more sexy than Trump?
How you end up talking about sexiness anyway?
All of this is a part of the politics.
He's talking about Donald Trump preference.
All right? So, beautiful games are being played. And all of a sudden, Minnis say the Americans told him. Is Minnis suggesting that he had a number? And you know what it is say? Minnis heard the story that Hubert Ingram and Perry Christie had a number. I'm not going to say the number, but it starts with 1.
What do you mean by number?
And so all of a sudden, Minnis now
Informant?
wants a number. So the Americans told him. Did they tell him that they were going to indict the policeman? Did they? Oh, all kind of political games are being played.
So the press didn't ask him who was this person and when would they indict him?
Well, this no. Don't forget now, this is a pro-F&M
See,
press.
I didn't get that from the interview, you know. What I'm getting from the interview is that the former Prime Minister is saying that he was approached by the Justice Department, or whoever it was, that they were going to launch an investigation against a particular character. That's what I'm getting.
That's not what he said.
So he used the word indictment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what he said.
He may have misused the word.
No. You could never be as educated as him.
I'm just saying.
You went to St. Augustine
Because if
College,
there-
and
yeah.
Minnis went there when
Yeah.
girls didn't go.
Yeah, but you know, I think he's saying that they basically had approached him with investigating.
Spiritual advisor, don't know what he's saying.
Well, you know,
He
that's
went
what
to
I'm
St.
gathering.
Augustine College. Minnis went when there was no girls. No distraction.
So you say spiritual was distracted?
Yeah, man.
That's your spiritual advisor?
He was distracted.
You were distracted?
At times, yeah.
You see?
My grades started slipping
He
on.
didn't study.
Anyhow, so where we are as far as the public getting information on the latest on the indictment, and if there's any trial going on, when will the trial start? What other information you think will be forthcoming to the Bahamian public about these Bahamian government officials that were indicted in the United States?
Yeah, what in the U.S., how it works is they're wanted in the Southern District of New York. If they're in the District of Florida, they have to be extradited from Florida to New York. They have their own policies and rules. There are persons in the Bahamas who are mentioned in the indictment. If the U.S. wishes them, we have an extradition treaty with them. They can make a request through their Justice Department to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who can issue an authority to proceed, and then a provisional warrant is issued by a Stipendian Circuit Magistrate. The person appears before the Stipendian Circuit Magistrate, and you would have seen recently extradition proceedings for Sam Bankman-Fried.
All right, so
In that episode, you can either voluntarily agree to go, or you can go through a hearing where you have them go through their documents where they say they have to make out a prima facie case that you've committed an offense in the U.S. or towards the U.S. That is also an offense in the Bahamas. Basically, they have to prove it's an extraditable offense.
Oh, okay.
For the offenses alleged, they're all extraditable.
right.
But they have to come to us and request that we surrender the fugitive to them. And there's a treaty that governs it, and there's an extradition act that governs it.
Okay. So once the United States requests the individual, that power lies solely in the hands of the Minister of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He doesn't have to consult with the Prime Minister.
No, it's a treaty obligation, and it's down in the act. All you have to do is satisfy yourself that it's not a taxation offense and it's not a politically motivated thing, and then you issue that.
Right, so how's that done? Once the communications between the authorities in the U.S. and the authorities here in the Bahamas, who then contacts the individual that is wanted for extradition? The police or the Foreign Affairs?
The Stipendian Circuit Magistrate issues a provisional arrest warrant, and the person is arrested on that arrest warrant and brought before the magistrate, who then sets a date for the delivery of the document. And there's a bundle of documents that are like depositions that set out the evidence that they say makes out a prima facie case against you.
Right.
And then you can either choose to say, look, I'm not going to contest this. I'm prepared to go. And that, like Sam Bankman-Fried did. Or you could contest to say that you want to be surrendered for any legal reason or evidential reason. If you say no prima facie case is made out on the documents.
So if you contest it, is that a long, drawn process?
It depends. It can be at times. And sometimes it's not.
Okay.
And even if you have a greasy bag, the F&M and the greasy bag. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. We'll be right back as my spiritual advisor grilled the minister on behalf of the F&M. It's powerful today. Hold on, everybody. We'll be right back.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV.
This whole idea of taking swimming lessons to the Bahamian public was something that we thought was a great idea, so we started Let's Swim Bahamas.
I've always been a learn to swim coach and a life-saving coach, and so this is now my turn to kind of really see learn to swim being developed.
Although we ran swift swimming for some 30 years and we offered Let's Swim lessons, we knew we were only touching a small percentage of the Bahamian public.
I enjoy the children and how happy and excited and joyful they are. I mean, some of them come from maybe hard homes. Maybe they're bullied at school. Who knows what they have? But when they come here, it's a very positive thing for them.
At the end of the day, more kids will be fulfilled, more kids will have a life-saving skill, and more kids will stay away from crime.
Crime-free.
Looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. We have Wayne Monroe as our surprise guest for my spiritual advisor, and of course Bradley Rule. Bradley, don't you have something that you should be reading?
Yes. Okay. So we're having a toy sale. The greatest toy sale on earth is at Shop Smart department store. So best toys, great prices. Get 20% off on the entire stock. This is the Christmas sale. So shop at Shop Smart. They're gonna have the greatest toy sale on earth. All right. So shop now at Shop Smart and get 20% off the entire stock. Also, the IL Cares Foundation will be having a free kids carnival. There's going to be a free kids carnival. It's going to be held December 14th. That's this coming Saturday in Clifford Park. The hours are 12 to 4 p.m. So bring your kids. Don't forget now, kids ages 2 to 12 must be accompanied by a responsible adult at all times. So this Saturday, December the 14th, 2024, Clifford Park, the IL Cares Foundation presents a free kids carnival. Free rides, free treats, free gifts, and more. And they're also going to take this free kids carnival to the Family Islands, Freeport, Eleuthera, Abaco, Exuma, South Andros, North Andros, Central Andros, Bimini, Harbour Island, Inagua, Long Island, Cat Island, the Berry Islands, Mangrove Key, San Salvador, Black Point, Samuel Key, and of course Grand Key. So Kids Carnival, the free treats, rides, and more will also hit the East Sunrise Freeport Basketball Court, Exuma, Resilience Plaza, and also in Abaco. So that's this Saturday, December 14, 2024, between the hours of 12 to 4 p.m. All right, thank you, producer.
This is powerful. I think we've taken care of all of the ad. Well, folks, I'm receiving breaking news that a number of Bahamians who were arrested in Long Island over that drug bust, well, I'm understanding that they were taken to court and they have been charged as it relates to that major cocaine bust. So, Minister, it appears that the record will show that here in the Bahamas, and particularly since this new administration, everyone who has been arrested and found in possession of cocaine has been taken to court.
And I hasten to say, Brother Monka, my understanding is that interdiction was the result of cooperation between the DEA and the DEU.
This is powerful. Okay.
So let's not get too caught up about the politics of the U.S. towards the Bahamas. From what I am able to see,
Yes.
They are still cooperating with us. And in fact, I believe just about all of the major busts that have happened like that, where aircraft come in from down south, clearly we would have been operating on intelligence from our U.S. partners.
So the plane was being tracked.
Yes, my spiritual advisor. I told you yesterday,
Okay.
no cocaine in that size can come into the Bahamas without the Americans. Minister, I'm not. I'm not trying to get you involved. I want you to know that I have my own relationship with the Americans.
So who coke it is?
I have. I mean, who coke it is?
Who coke it is?
Any coke that comes to the Bahamas and the Americans are involved, it's their coke.
Come on, man, Sandra, man. Come on now.
Have you read the Lorcan report?
Man, be more
Have you read the Lorcan report?
That's a different case. altogether.
Minister,
That's the different case.
attorney.
I was involved in that.
An attorney who's related to you by blood hired me to sit in the commission, listen to certain people testify, and tell him whether or not I thought they were being honest. I said, "You serious about that?" He said, "Yes." And so I would go to the commission. Everybody thought I was there. I was working.
I saw you there.
Oh, you got to see me there.
Because I represent.
You didn't remember.
Yeah. No, but you have had controlled deliveries,
Right.
Brother Manka, but not whether or not all of them are or not
Yeah, that's a different
is
story.
a different issue.
Yeah,
Right.
man. Come on.
My spiritual advisor, in the case of the Lorcan, evidence came out that the American had a sensor in the cocaine bag. You think if Colombia is sending cocaine here, they can put a tracker for them to be tracked? The men who were operating the Lorcan, pending in them, what after the Americans informed them that they were agents of the DEA and demanded that they be released, the Americans were told we couldn't do it like that. So they had to take them back to court and withdraw the allegation. I asking nobody that. I know exactly what happened.
All right, so we're going to open the lines? We're going to put the minister in the hot seat today?
You could open the line.
Minister, you take some calls?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, okay. We're going to open the lines. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775. 698-0776. The Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, is our guest today. So you can call and we can ask questions if you want, if you like, and then we can discuss where we are with this stalemate with Junkanoo. Is there going to be one or not? Is it cancelled? 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775 and 698-0776. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live. Hello, caller, you there? Senator, you know.
Spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Wonderful. Senator.
God save the king.
God save the king and Minister Monroe.
Evening, sir.
I ain't putting you in the hot seat today. I called you to ask you some legal question. I hear spiritual advisor alluded to it just now. The Junkanoo situation. The JCNP is contracted to manage the parades, the smooth flowing of the parade alongside the government. Yes?
Well, I would have to declare bias. I represented the JCMP over the New Year's result where Roots challenged the Valley Boys winning that New Year's parade. And I wouldn't want to trespass into it, except as to say that the contractual underpinning of the relationship is not as cut and dry as it could be.
Okay. Let me ask you some legal questions then. In order, if an entity decides to take a boycott or a strike vote, they need to have a license under a union type atmosphere from the Ministry of Labor and sanctioned by the government, right?
No, that's with regard employers and employees. So the relationship of the JCMP to the government, whether it's a principal agent or something else, is not necessarily clear. A court would have to set it out if a dispute arose. The most that I would say, because I'm in the chair as a minister, is the Prime Minister says that on no account will Junkanoo not happen.
Okay.
If some people decide that they don't want to participate, there might be consequences, financial consequences to them. But the position of the Prime Minister is that Junkanoo is not owned by the government, is not owned by the JCMP.
We're getting there.
It's owned by the people. And so that, I think that's as far as you get me to go on that.
So if it,
my last question, these general questions. Each individual group of the JCNP has taken out, not the JCNP did a contract with the government, but each of those individual groups had to go to the government and sign individually for their seed monies, right?
That is true. That is true.
Good.
So once you sign, you're obligated.
If they try to take a collective togetherness now under the JCNP, that is a falsehood. Because if they walk away from Junkanoo, then each one of those groups would be charged with basically firing themselves directly from their obligation
and must return
to the
money.
government.
And they must return the seed money as well, I guess.
You are quite correct.
Exactly. And like the minister said, there could be some consequences for breaking that contract with the government and the Bahamian people.
All right, thank you, caller. We gave you a long run. Thank you so much, caller.
All right.
We got some other calls. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello.
Good afternoon. You're live, caller.
Afternoon.
Go ahead, you're live.
They
Go ahead.
ain't getting me. Hello.
You're live, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Can I speak to Mr. Munker?
Go ahead.
Good afternoon to your guest. Mr. Munker,
Yes.
I want to say to you, please leave spiritual advisor alone and stop calling people sissy.
I didn't call nobody no sissy.
Bye.
I didn't call nobody no sissy.
Did you ever call someone a sissy?
I can't remember that. I'm getting old now.
I remember an old clip, but that was a general declaration. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live. Are you there, caller?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you gentlemen doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Yeah, my question to the minister is a twofold question. Yeah, and it's based on Haiti. Well, okay, like for years, Haiti didn't or have like a semblance of a government in place for years now, right? My question is, the first one is, why is it that the Haitian embassy continue to remain open, doing business as usual? They have no structured government, and the Bahamas government allowing them to have an embassy doing a lot of doing their business, at least getting persons documented and whatever for this country. And the second part of my question is, if this country isn't allocated to Haiti, handed over by a young government and the previous government, right? Because the place is just overrun by just Haitians, and they come in willy-nilly and they accept it. And the other part of that question is, when Trump said that when he comes in office, he'll be deporting persons, he asked the Prime Minister if he would allow or accept persons from America who he deport. He said no. But my irony is, if Mr. Davis is so concerned about this country and it being a Bahamian country, why isn't he allowing this Haitianization of this country and no other national? Like this place allocated just the Haitian and nobody else in this world.
Thank you so much, caller. You want to answer that, Minister?
Well, firstly, so long as there's a government recognized in Haiti, they will have diplomatic arrangements with other countries. So, for instance, when we deport Haitians back to Haiti, we require permission from the Haitian government. And the last occasion that we did it on the HMBS Lawrence Major for it to enter Haitian territorial waters, and they will certify, yes, these are our citizens, to accept them back. If you ever were to not have an operating recognized government in Haiti, you wouldn't have anybody to agree to repatriations. I don't know what the caller is talking about. If the caller is talking about the children born to Haitian nationals in the Bahamas, who Bahamians insist on bringing here on work permits, the Constitution speaks as to that. I would remind Bahamians that we did not fight for our independence like Haiti did. We got it from the English by consent, and they imposed certain conditions. And the conditions about citizenship do not vary much between every single former British colony that got its independence. And so those were conditions that the English imposed and we accepted, and it is as simple as that. I don't gather that you have any free influx now. If Bahamians are honest with themselves, they would recognize that largely these people who they're calling Haitians, many of them have never seen Haiti. Their feet have never touched Haiti, and they were born in this country. Many of them, the people with status, because we get work permits for them. What I've been finding a lot is you have a bunch of Americans as well, whose children were born here, who now are seeking citizenship. I've had, when I was in practice, I've had 2 or 3 of my children's friends who went to school with them who were seeking citizenship. But we notice the Haitians, because they say it's numbers. But
some calls?
The joke that they say is when the immigration go and pick everyone up, You have a line outside of the detention center, everyone coming to try to get their Haitian out of the detention center. So we just have to be honest as a country and face the reality.
of it.
It is open for you to hire a Bahamian. The question is, do you, as the Bahamian complaining about this situation, do you offer the young Bahamian a job, or do you seek the cheap foreign
we hire the Haitians.
undocumented labor?
Interesting. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Rook.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Mr. Mungo.
Sir.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Monroe, it was a sad day the other day when the United States government locked up a few of our police officers, and people was calling your name. But I'm so glad, Mr. Monroe, that you came on the radio and said you had nothing to do with that, Mr. Monroe. I can be honest with you, I respect you to the most, Mr. Monroe. And if you had anything to do with that, Mr. Monroe, honestly, I thought the Bahamas was finished. But I'm so glad you came on the radio and said you had nothing to do with that, Mr. Monroe.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate it. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two quick questions for the minister. The first one, as it relates to persons charged before the court. I think before the government changed in 2021, you could have seen footage of the persons who were charged going to the court. Now, I agree with you, that kind of shouldn't be done. But is it possible, and if it would be infringing on people's constitutional right of innocent until proven guilty, once they are charged before the court, should the court establish a website where people can go and see the persons who were charged for various offenses, especially serious offenses?
Let me ask you one question, caller. Why would you want to see the face of the person?
Okay, take for instance, somebody might have done something to me, right? And I don't know that they did the same thing to somebody else, and they get charged before the court.
Okay.
But I can't see that person to say, okay, that's the same person who did something, especially in a serious matter.
But
who did something to me?
If somebody
I give the description to the police, right? I give the description to the police and everything like that, right? But sometimes, even when you give the description and they do the sketches, it doesn't come out exactly looking like the person.
Well, what you will find, caller, is if that is how you make an identification, that identification won't be permitted in court. That was fun. I didn't direct the police to do that, you know. But that was done at the police's initiative. I'll tell you something that is interesting. A lot of these ID cases fall down because by the time somebody comes to point somebody out in court, they've already seen them in the newspaper or on television, and so the identification has no value.
Okay.
When they've started doing what they do now, when the person now makes an ID, let's say they were shot and couldn't attend an identification parade. The court doesn't easily allow dark identifications. And you have to give a reason why the person couldn't attend an identification parade. Well, if the person wasn't on television and all of that and isn't sitting in a dock, an identification may have some value. Whereas if the person was splashed all over TV and the newspapers, he wouldn't. I think the police were motivated to do what they did because one of the biggest areas of murder now is of people who have gone to court.
Yeah. My point, I'm going to point on the police officer and the defense force officer being indicted in the States. Now, I think they were charged with basically conspiracy, right? And the amazing thing in the indictment, like the spiritual advisor also said, there were tons of cocaine allegedly moved to the Bahamas, but they ain't indict no American for receiving the cocaine. So somebody had to receive all that cocaine going into the United States, right?
Well, I think
somebody should have received it, right?
Yeah, the public should just do this. This is the indictment. If, as I say, they come to extradite persons here, they will produce a package of evidence. It won't be all the evidence they have,
I know,
but it'll be a framework of it. And then the persons will go, when they go to face their trial in the U.S., they have a right to discovery of the evidence against them. And then they will be able to have their day in court. we are concerned about addressing it now to try and figure out if there were lapses, where were these lapses, and how we could improve our system. Not jump into the conclusion that anyone is guilty, but if you say that these things happen, let us try to examine how they could have happened so we could put steps in place to stop them happening.
And people saying the Americans didn't inform the government, right? The United States of America, you remember the WikiLeaks stuff that came out, where they were spying on every phone call in the Bahamas, right? They didn't inform the government that they was doing that, right? They were spying on even heads of states who they could consider their friends. Okay? So when they're doing investigations, you can even check all the American news. When they go in to investigate people, they don't inform the governor of certain states. When they go into arrest or indict certain people who the federal government investigating, they don't inform the governors of those states or even the law enforcement in those states.
Right.
Sometimes they just, that's why they have the indictment sealed, where only the court know the persons they are investigating, and they are asking the court to charge them.
All right, thanks so much, caller. We appreciate your contribution. All right, take care. Any further comments, mister? No? All right, we'll take some more calls. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, first time caller.
Welcome.
Okay, I just would like to touch base on, I'm speaking from experience with the situation with the indictment that they now have with the Bahamas government. I mean, with the few guys have been indicted. All right, I myself was indicted in the U.S. under the Commission of Inquiry, not under it, but during that time frame. And you know what they had told me during that time frame, and they could not bring cases against me without me asking for a deposition. And your deposition and to see who all that they have and what they have said against you, have a whole printout. You can request a deposition if you have been charged with the federal government. And what they told me, that if the Bahamas government do not bow to the United States for what they want, they will economically assassinate us. And this is said to me by some of the investigators or the detectives. And what's going on now, they'll put out something out there to see how crazy us Bahamians are. They call us black monkeys. They told that to me. So all the black monkeys will always keep our foot on you all. And that was said to me in 1984. Okay? And that is going on today. And I'm speaking from experience. I don't care what's going on. I went for my visa the other day. They tell me I was over there in 2017. You know where I leave this country. You understand? And what they're doing, they're trying to economically assassinate us. And it's sad to see that the opposition government can't see that every time the PLP is in power, first of all, I voted for them in PLP. I'm a baby first. They can't see that whenever the PLP in power, they will always bring on an indictment or some scandal to try to move the PLP over power. The PLP is a government that fights for the people strongly, on my belief. As I said before, I voted for them and I voted PLP. And I'm a 68-year-old man. Now, what I'm saying is we as Bahamians can look to each other first. We can't listen to what the United States say. You have a president now who's been indicted, who do all kind of crazy things in the public eye, and he's still in there.
Please do not attack. Please do not attack. Please do not attack President.
Thank you so
Trump.
much, caller. Thank you so much. Well, we see where that conversation was going. We got another call. Welcome to the Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good evening, Spiritual Advisor, Mr. Munker.
Sir.
Your guest, Minister of National Security, Mr. Monroe. Mr. Monroe, a question. Can you say at any time when will the gratuity for retired police officers be issued?
Is this the matter you're referring to that was dismissed by Ruth Bodavo?
Pardon me?
Is this the issue that was before the Supreme Court, before Ruth Bodavo?
This is the matter what is going on now because officers have been retired for years. Some of their family members waiting on a little
No, but
money or whatever.
I'm asking a specific question. There was a matter that was litigated by Maria Dax, and she had the matter before Justice Ruth Bodavel, and it was dismissed.
I think it was the last matter. I think the last attorney was Attorney John Ferguson, who was fighting for the police officers. I can't say which judge it was before, but I know it was before Supreme Court.
Okay. If a matter is before the Supreme Court, that would tell you that the Attorney General's office must not agree with the position taken by the lawyer for those individuals, and so they've asked the court to resolve who is right.
Oh, wow, we're doing the show.
Listen, the show is
We're
over.
sorry, caller. Tomorrow.
Call us tomorrow. I hope the minister could come back, although I'm going to the party. This is Freedom March.
After the show.
God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Big party tomorrow night.
God save the King. It's powerful. God save Minister Bean Monroe. God save the PLP. It's powerful today. Hold on, everybody. Tomorrow.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those